We are now also breaking out expenses by project, or not project, but projects being done in specific parks. So we'll know, like this year we have, work that's scheduled to be done in the Westwoods, Walter C. Best, and others that are listed there. The Maple Highlands Trail is the Losi Dam improvement that needs to be done. So that's that document and the new format. Any questions?
We get these pages and I work next time, so.
Yes.
I'll along with-
I thought I had that done that, but I realized that as I'm going through it.
Very good,
Okay.
excellent.
Great.
And this is all part of the format of the program that we're using, correct?
No. This is, that information is pulled out of the UAN from the state auditors, but this is all an Excel
Okay.
document that I put together.
Good.
Okay, so that's the monthly financial report that you'll be seeing. And then the next is the 21 financial statement. And rules, because we're with UAN, in order to close the year, we have to put together this document. So it's titled at the top, and again, this does have a number of pages on it. And I'm not going to go through all of this because I think when I talk about audit compliance, this is really our financial audit. It is in this format. But in order to, like I said, close the year using our financial system, the Uniform Accounting Network, UAN, through the State Auditor's Office, we have to put together this document. So what we hired a firm called James G. Zutka. They're an accounting firm to help us and assist, and then also to look at, because we were with the county up until June, just to look at our finances and make sure that everything transferred over appropriately, and they found that it did. They helped with putting this document together in order to close. And this is the format that we need to present in order to have an audit done. So essentially we're doing this up front for the state auditor's office, and then they will audit this. So this isn't audited numbers, but it's the format that will be audited. So the front page is the combined statement of receipts, so our revenues, disbursement, our expenditures, and any changes in fund balance. And it's the breakdown according to the state auditors and how they like to see funds. So it might not exactly be how we have things in our financial report might be a little bit different. For example, they do separate supplies, materials, equipment, and we started to lumping those all together. But it is by fund, and this is what our expenses were in 2021.
So we have an ending balance of $5,238,000 versus a budget of $4,158,000. The bottom,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes. And then the difference between the two, and the numbers, some of them might actually they're pretty close. If you look at it, I think there's $1 difference between the 2021 on the financial. We have the cash balance for collecting credit cards. We have a separate account with Huntington for our sales, and basically our camping fees. So anytime we take credit cards, so we've been not including that with all of our cash. So that's something that we're working at. It's like a $24,000 balance. So there's a little bit of a difference. It has to do with the difference between our credit card account that we have at Huntington. So I'm working on getting these two reports, the financial report and this one to jive, but they should be pretty close.
I would say that just looking at the year-to-date after the 2020 in terms of ending balance. So, looks like we're in pretty good financial shape as far as how we're managing the monthly process.
Yes, and it'll definitely throughout the year as, especially as warmer weather comes and we'll be doing a lot more projects, we'll be seeing a lot more expenses.
But just comparing it to 19 and 20, we're within a few percentage points of 20 and significantly ahead of 19
Yeah.
with a lot of headwinds this past year.
Yes. And then the rest of the document, and like I said, I'm not going to go into detail. We'll talk about this during the audit, but these are the notes to the financial statements and just talks about the different types of accounting and our policies. On page 1, our budgetary process that we go through. Page 3, again, talks about our fund balances, and then note 3 is our budgetary activities. So it's our budgeted revenues to our actual revenues and any variance by fund, as well as our expenditures. So it gives that detail. Note 4 talks about the property tax collection process. Note 5 is our insurance, our risk management, and what we contribute to PEP, which is our insurance pool. And then note 6 is our pension plans that we're required to show, as well as note 7. Note 8 talks a little more in detail about fund balances, and then note 9 was added recently with the impact of COVID. We do not receive any, have not received any CARES Act funds, COVID-19, but this is a note that we are required to put in. So, like I said, you'll be seeing this annually now since we use UAN, and this will be definitely part of the audit presentation when we get to that in September. So any questions about these 2 documents?
Looks good. Great job.
Thank you, Jen. Good job. We will pick up the conversation again next month and keep the topic of fiscal and finance work session on the agenda. So, thank you, Jen. All right, moving on to new business, a memo on some of our cooperative purchasing programs. Commissioners, the Jogga Park District is part of the following cooperative purchasing programs. The Ohio Department of Administrative Services, Cooperative Purchasing, another program called Sourcewell, OMNIA Partners, and lastly, the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance. These organizations can offer the lowest and best price for many different types of purchases that the district can make, and when applicable, the bid process can be avoided for purchases over $50,000 since these organizations have done that process on behalf of their members. That's a memo from Jennifer. Have any questions on cooperative purchasing? Just for your information. All right, next up is a bid award recommendation for 2022 aggregate stone materials bid. Commissioners, on February 7th, 2022, 3 bids were received for providing aggregate stone materials for GPD through 2022. You have a memo from Park Planner Dan McConaughey, along with bid tabulation, bid packet holder list, and search for unresolved findings for recovery. The parent low bidder on all materials is Arms Trucking Company. It is recommended that the Board of Park Commissioners accept the lowest and best bid as submitted from Arms Trucking Company for all aggregate stone materials for 2022. The recommendation is based on the following. The submitted bids have been reviewed and determined to be complete based on experience with the vendor and their ability to provide materials within the time frame required for both maintenance and projects requiring aggregate stone materials. So I will entertain a motion to approve the bid award to Arms Trucking Company.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on that bid award? Not, we'll call the vote. Mr. Preston?
Yes.
Mrs. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Nascenzi?
Yes.
Mr. Bates?
Same.
And Mr. Greeno.
Yes.